virgins always take it up the ass. Now that I have your attention. This was a date in South Korea where I was teaching EFL. The guy was 33. I was 21. He was military special ops investigative team kind of guy. We went to a burger bar in Itaewon, the US military area of town, where people occasionally speak English, and he told me he was interviewing a suspect that night. He double booked, and to just play along. Okay, red flag 1. The suspect shows up, I guess on a drug charge. Something. I never really figured it out, and this guy grabs me by the shoulder and tells the suspect I'm his wife and starts making up stories about how we met. I'm kind of trying to laugh it off because what the hell, this is weird. Suspect finally leaves and he thanks me for playing along and tells me he's paying for dinner because I was a good sport. Okay, cool. I then get food poisoning and proceed to become sick most prodigiously in the restaurant bathroom. Like a champ, I splash water on my face and come out of it looking pale, but not terribly worse for wear. He asks if I want to go back to his place, and like a fool, I agree because the world is kind of spinning, and the subway ride back to my little moldy attic in Dichidang is Luum, and I'd like a place to sit down. He drives me in this big black military jeep to this really nice complex overlooking the river, penthouse suite, ECT. This place is gorgeous. I'm starry-eyed because, hi, I live in a moldy attic. We hang out and talk for a while and I start to feel less ill. He tries to make out a little, whatever, it's fine. It's late and I have work in the morning, so I make leaving now motions, but he offers me his bed to sleep in. Says he won't try anything weird, etc. I'm exhausted, so I say sure and just strip down to my bra and panties and crawl in. Nice bed. Very comfy. I pass out. I wake up in the early morning to him spooned against me and something hard pressing into my ass. I'm barely half awake and also a virgin, which he knows, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. He kind of grinds against me for a while I try to figure out if he's awake or not. And then, it happens. Sharp, blinding pain in the ass. He's trying to ass rape me without a condom or lube or asking first. I'm awake now. I leap out of bed and yell something like what the fuck, and he goes, sorry baby, I figured you were used to it in the ass because you were a virgin. My expression is something like, 0.0. I get dressed stiffly and tell him I'm leaving now. He drives me to the subway, asking if he did something wrong. I manage a yeah, you could say that, and flee. That's not okay, Cupid or the girl that wanted to be pregnant. Just discovered this subreddit, and I have a boatload of bad date stories from just this past year. I dealt with the breakup of a 3-year relationship in May of 2012. Needless to say, after 3 years, I had no clue where to start when it came to dating. So, being 23 and clueless about how to meet people, I made an OkCupid account. After meeting a few girls, I decided to meet one that had been texting me for the past few weeks. This was back when I was drinking, so we decided to go out for a drink at the local bar. She met me at my apartment, met my roommates, and headed out to a bar down the street. She was cute. We got along very well, and I even got rid of a guy that was hitting on her. That impressed her. A couple of people I knew showed up, and we ended up drinking with them a bit. She is about 3 or 4 mixed drinks and 2 shots deep. We end up leaving to head to another bar and meet the people we were with. On the way there, she starts to get a bit strange. At the next bar, she's doing more shots. Obviously very intoxicated. She starts trying to slow dance with me outside. Okay, not a big deal. Then she asks me this, will you be there for me and take care of me, emotionally and financially? Want to come to my niece's birthday? I want you to be my boyfriend. Keep in mind, this is our first date, and she is blackout drunk. Obviously, she's in no condition to drive. So I offer to let her stay and tell her she can sleep on the couch if she wants to. She says, I wasn't planning on driving home. Oh, okay. Feel free to invite yourself over. So we head home, because I have to work in the morning. We get home, and my roommates are on the couch. She walks in and says, Hamburgs is my boyfriend now. I'm terrified. She ends up crawling into bed with me, and I'm hoping I can get to sleep and never have to see her again. Nope. She starts playing with me. Okay, not sure what to do. Next thing I know, she hops on top of me, slides my dick into her and says, "I want you to come inside me, Hamburgs. I want you to get me fucking pregnant." Nope. I pushed her off and pretended like I didn't hear that and went to sleep. Woke up in the morning, she kissed me goodbye, and then the text messages start. She doesn't remember that night. She thinks we have good chemistry. I won't deny that we had good chemistry. So I explained to her why she scared the hell out of me and why I don't think I should see her again. She apologizes and apologizes. So I give her the benefit of the doubt. I explained that it was going to take time before I could see her again. She proceeds to try and hang out with me every day. I keep telling her that I need time. She doesn't care. She wants to see me. She knows where I live. I feel like I'm going to be murdered. She tells me that I'm the cause of her depression. I tell her I can't do this and she needs to leave me alone. She freaks out. After a few days of not responding to her texts, she finally stops. Right after that night, I deleted my OkCupid and deleted her from Facebook. Thankfully, I wasn't murdered. First date post-divorce. I'm off to a flying start. I just got back home about an hour ago from a really bad date. My first action was to take a warm bath with hot cocoa. My second is to write this post. Firstly, we were both a bit late because the roads are really bad tonight. Think just enough new powder to hide the thick layer of ice underneath. But we are both late and got there at about the same time, so no big deal. When we were seated, he suggested ordering a bottle of wine to share. I said that I would only have one glass since I had to drive home. He said that he had a friend who could pick him up and ordered the bottle. While we were waiting for the wine, he started talking politics. It didn't take long for me to give the "let's agree to disagree" line. Apparently, he thinks that's stupid. People should talk these things out until they come to a consensus. Good idea in theory, I agree, but not in practice, especially since we aren't even politicians who make those decisions. Then the wine arrived, and we ordered dinner. He finished his portion of the bottle before the appetizer arrived. So he ordered another bottle at a third. As he got drunker, he became more argumentative. At the end of dinner, he suggested we go to a bar to drink even more, I suppose. I declined. So he called his fictitious friend for a ride. No answer. He dialed a few more numbers and then said he guessed he'd drive himself home. No. Hell no. No fucking way no. Not after almost 3 bottles of wine. This guy must be a heavy drinker because he was walking fairly normally. I said I'd drive him and asked where he lived. He said he was just down the highway a bit, so I put him in the passenger seat of my Honda Civic. Just as I'm buckling my seatbelt, he asked if I could tow his car so that he'd have it in the morning. As I said, I drive a Honda Civic. Next he asked me if I could drive his car, some V8 pickup, and tow mine. I have never towed a car in my life. Towed a lawnmower once, and that was complicated enough. I certainly did not intend to start with an unfamiliar car at night in horrible conditions. I told him so, in fewer words. He wasn't happy, but I had his keys in my pocket. Yes, I gave them back when he was safely home, so he acquiesced. Turns out that when he said he lived down the highway a bit, what he actually meant was 20 miles, 32 kilometers. The roads were so bad that it took almost 40 minutes to get there. Then the idiot wasted another 20 finding his apartment because he only moved in 2 weeks ago. Seriously though, there are 2 streets in that town. How hard can it be to figure out where you live? Then, of course, I had to drive back home as snow continued to fall rapidly. Oh, and there was a car crash too. That whole trip took more than 2 hours. The dinner lasted 1. I spent more than 2/3 of my date making sure the guy didn't get behind the wheel drunk. Were I still Catholic, I would pray that my suffering from this date be offered for the soul of a dear friend who was killed by a drunk driver at age 14. Being an atheist, all it has done is make me sad and angry about said friend all over again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that bell to turn on notifications so you'll be sure to know when the next video comes out. Want to watch some more? Check out my other videos. I really do appreciate everyone who helps make these videos possible. And as always, thanks for watching.